Welcome back everybody to With Antone MotoGP 2025. And I want to thank everybody who's been watching. We're heading this weekend, round 14 to Balaton Park in Hungary, Hungarian Grand Prix, brand new track, which means no data. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, but I want to kick off with some news. Now, the one that's really hitting the headlines at the moment, which is probably going to have huge ramifications, is Red Bull saying that they are reviewing their sponsorship and they might be pulling out of sponsoring KTM. Now, of course, Red Bull and KTM, they go across all classes of racing. You've seen them in the Dakar, you see them in the Supercross, and you see them in the MotoGP, amongst other things. So that could have huge implications to what's happening. Now, Diego Moreira, the young superstar from Moto2, he's signed to ride with HRC. So he'll be going in on the fourth bike there to join Zarco. I think you'll find that Chantra's out and the Japanese sponsorship is out, so he's going to come in. Now this could be, finally we might get the news public about the Pramac Yamaha decision. Now it's going to be down to Jack Miller or Oliveira. The good money, if you're a betting individual, is on Jack Miller to stay with Pramac. Although I do note that that World Superbike slot in Ducati is still open, so that might be an opportunity for him. And talking about what's happening in the space of Ducati, you've got the Doctor VR46. They're saying they've offered VR46 a second works bike for next year, but apparently Rossi said, no, I don't want the bike, I want to be in control. I think his fear is there that if Ducati supply a second works bike to match with Digi, then they'll have control over who can put that bike, and I think he wants to keep Morbidelli on that bike. Okay, also in news, the Manufacturers Alliance, apparently it's been a hard no from Liberty Dorna. Espeleta said, no, we're not going to listen to your demands or your requests, might be a better word. So we talked about this previously, about grid ownership slots and more euros and more funds. You have to understand that right now the official manufacturers in the MotoGP class, Yamaha, Honda, Ducati, Aprilia, they get no direct revenue from any commercial activities. Be seeing something more. I even read a line saying that Espeleta said, if we have to, we'll go to a one-make series. But speaking of one-make series, Ducati, next year, 26, they're going to run the same 6 bikes. Data is critical, and they, I think, are looking at running the same bike. Now, whether that's a 25-24 hybrid, I'm hearing Bagnaia's going to test the old bike, the 24, at Misano. So it would seem to me, there's rumours of him changing teams. That's absolutely pointless if there is no reason to do that. Okay, on this point, who's responsible in MotoGP for giving us fans a great race? The Manufacturers Association, MSMA, is it them? Is it Dorna? Is it Liberty? Is it the manufacturers themselves? Or is it the riders? Because someone's going to have to take responsibility over providing us with close racing. Now that's what we need. We need close racing. We need exciting racing. This whole Marc Marquez is ruining the series. I don't see it. I'm with Casey on this one. I think the newer riders getting used to all these rider aids is really making the difference. Okay, so let's talk about this weekend's race at Balaton Park in Hungary. It's 33 years since we've raced a Grand Prix in Hungary, and it's the first race. So what does that mean? It means no data for the teams. Do you remember when we went to Brno? We had a situation where fundamentally it was a new track. So what we saw was Ducati did not have their data advantage. And I think we'll see that this weekend. Now it's a stop-go track. It's a small track. People are saying it's a bit of a go-kart track. There's 18 corners, 10 go to the left, 8 go to the right. And I think it's going to be a very interesting thing. What it really means, and I took an opportunity to look at the World Superbike race that was there. There was a huge crash. Turn 1 is really quite a tight turn. In fact, you could argue that it's a little bit too tight. So it's going to put all the pressure on qualifying. So this means that Friday's session, the second session for qualifying, will be critical to where the riders will finish in the race. I think it's a case of where you qualify, it's going to be a case of where you finish. Now, look, I can't go past Marc Marquez, I can't go past Alex Marquez, and I'm not sure about KTM's resurgence, but one thing that we can be sure of, confidence is high in the Aprilia team, and I feel that I think Bezzecchi will be in third place. Bastianini, even though he did well with Acosta, I can't see really them doing it. And one more question I want to talk about with the state of MotoGP. So Marc Marquez, you remember, he left Honda and apparently left around 20 million euros on the table to go and ride Gresini to get a chance of winning. And it was very interesting when I compare this to our friend Fabio Quartararo. He stayed for the money with Yamaha and he's been complaining ever since. But take a look at the interview when they asked him about control in around stability, and they asked him about it and he really couldn't explain it. I know he gives it all, but we've mentioned on this with Antone MotoGP 2025. I just don't think he's really the development guy. But it'll be interesting to see with 26 around the corner, riders will sign early for 27. I just wonder what Quartararo's priority is. I can't see him leaving the Euros on the table like Marc Marquez did. So anyway, thanks for listening this week. A lot of news happening. It's exciting that we're going to head into this weekend in Hungary. And for you, who's responsible for giving us a great show? Liberty have bought in. Is it their responsibility? Anyway, let's talk about it some more. Why don't you drop down below your comments and thoughts? And if you're enjoying with Antone, then give me a thumbs up or drop me a subscription. Anyway, let's look forward to the race this weekend in Hungary, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Okay, bye for now.